Hi, friends. This is Calpo in Piso. Bicat, my brain is creating thoughts. Another scandal. This is interesting. In ChristPsychosis infected America, where sex is a sin thanks to ChristPsychosis, over 1700 years ago. Well, it's another scandal. On a St. Paul school, where the diplomats and all the important people go, and this is something that happens in lots of Christianity infected schools and institutions. Because, of course, sex to the prime director of life, we are all created by a sex act, by coitus, the spit of a sperm, DNA. But of course, this ChristPsychosis infected and all religious psychotics, they do not see science as reality. They only see imaginary friends and spirits as reality, just like schizophrenics do. So to them, sex is a sin. We are created by, of course, as the Bible myth says, Adam and Eve and all this nonsense. All religions have nonsense, deluded, psychotic nonsense accepted as reality. In other words, all of them have homophobia, imaginary friend or foe, irrational belief, acceptance, which is at the core of all religions and all schizophrenias, temporal lobe epilepsy, and it's actually temporal limbical interference, cognitive dissonance in the brain, because we create thoughts, the mind with the brain, and the brain is being created by an act of coitus, sex. So, and you can see that in all these Catholic institutions and Christian institutions and all the educators, they are sick people. Mentally, they have a mental problem. And of course, this kids are forced to either abstinence or no sex before marriage and all the rest of psychotic imbecilities. And the brain, the human being prime directive is to reproduce, to pass the genes. That's our purpose of life, pass the genes. We are related to every life form on planet Earth via DNA. It is a fact. We are composed, our bodies have like 100 trillion microbes. And we have only 10 trillion cells. So everything evolves, and we, prime director of life is sex. So a coitus. So therefore, these imbeciles here, they want abstinence of sex, and it's impossible. You cannot have that. But to them, these imbeciles, this is a sin. They are ChristPsychosis infected imbeciles. It's a mental disease. It's a brain disease, like a cancer, like an HIV of the neural array. That's what religion is. A brain HIV that destroys reason and rational thought and creates these delusions and interference of mythologies to be accepted as reality. In this 21st century, we are not in the 12th, so this is what you get. Stupidities like this and that everywhere. There are sex scandals all over the place. Pedophilia, racism, pornography, and all this nonsense which is created by Christianity, by religious psychosis, but basically Christianity, because Christianity is the most virulent of the neurologic disorders that I call the HIV of the brain. And religion is a dangerous brain disease, especially in the Christian Catholic religion. This is what they teach us through. All of these ceremonies and rituals created in the brain, in defective brains, teach you that the breast milk is sacred, like semen. And these are all true. I'm not making this up. This is reality. The Pope is a psychotic. All these people are stuck in the past. Here they want to be ravished. They are laying down in religious ceremony, they psychosis. The Jewish ceremony, they suck the blood of the baby during circumcision. This is the creator God. This is cock. This is what we created as a true God that created our brains, and we create thinking with the brain. When the brain is sick, this is what happens. We have 20,000 human genes, but we have also microbes, and we have all in our bodies are the universes, product of evolution of 3 billion years. And this is the mechanism inside, it's called DNA wrapping in the genes. And this is happening inside our bodies all the time. This is exactly what's happening. They are reproduction of all the systems in the DNA and also in the brain. So if the brain is subjected to viruses and to microbes and all that, then the thoughts are distorted. And this is what happens in all religions. And this is inside the brain. This is the way the neurons with synaptic regions function. There are more connections in the brain than galaxies in the universe. See this one? And there are tons of examples. This is just important people, well-known people that have all these problems with sex and with children. But see, the problem in ChristPsychosis infected America, fetus and embryos are children. Live. A fetus is a child. No abortion because, the child is going to be destroyed and they just been, it's a fetus, a product of incest or something like that. The ChristPsychotic infected imbeciles, they called, and the dumb, mentally healthy, intellectual, in other words, the atheists, do not slam the ChristPsychotic infected imbeciles with facts and science. Like Huckabee called when there is an abortion because a lady was raped and realized that she's pregnant, after 3 weeks and wants to have an abortion of a fetus, of an embryo, and the imbecile Huckabee and the imbecile rest of Christianity infected psychos, stupid, ignorant, theocratic imbeciles, they call it a baby, a child. Well, this is another example. Christianity created pedophilia, racism, homophobia, and the rest of crap 1,700 years ago when they took over the Roman Empire. The whole empire disintegrated, initiated the Dark Ages and intellectual stagnation and all the rest of stupidities. Keeping the brain theocratic, anti-science pieces of garbage. This is what the Christians are. Religious people are all like that. They're psychotic. They are no different than schizophrenic, temporal lobe epileptic, and the rest of psychos. But anyway, this is what happened in here. The guy is attracted to children because he was born in a Christianity-infected home. He's a ChristPsychotic infected imbecile. Like all the priests, like all these people, these pastors they mess around and like to have sex with children. Like long time ago, in the Roman Empire, that's what the whole Western civilization comes from. Children were considered gods. There's zero evidence. They were not molested. They were considered gods. You didn't have sex with children, and it was a sacrilege. It was you didn't mess with children. But see, in a Christianity-infected world, since sex is sinful and all that with adults, and then you have the baby Jesus and you kiss his little pee-pee and all that stuff because of the religious mythologies of the child, the baby Jesus and all that bunch of stuff, then the brain attracts you to this imaginary friend represented by a child, and you have the little angels and little things, and then of course you're the abstinent of sex. Focus on your brain, focus on a child as an object of sexual gratification, which is sacred, which is the gods. That's where you come to pedophilia, coming from Christianity dysfunction of the brain, religious dysfunction, which is one of the schizophrenic temporal limbical interference, precuneus perfusion of the precuneus, because it's all in the brain. And you have a temporal lobe epilepsy, and you have all this combining into this affection, and then this is the problem. And in the moment that your brain, your body in the Christianity-affected world, as a teenager, you want to just pass your genes and all that, but sex, you're born in a Christianity-infected home, and sex is dirty and bad, and it's only within marriage and all the crap like that, and then you can be vulnerable to pedophiles. See, you are vulnerable to pedophiles, to these Christianity-affected imbeciles, and there you have it, and then you have all these problems. And this is what attracted this imbecile to be able to corrupt corrupt children and use them as sex objects. But children, what is a child? See, the imbecile Christians, a child is one that is 17, 18, they call it a child. No, imbeciles. A child is when a boy or a girl are in puberty, in adolescence. They are not under that. Child is 10 years old, 11, like that. But then after that, you become, it's not a child, imbeciles. We're evolved mutated primates. Is a woman that is ready to reproduce and all that, which is 15, 14, 15. In ancient times, people were married when the women are ready to have children, their reproduction. So but in the Christian world, you cannot drink beer unless you're over 21. This is the stupidity of the United States. It is a Christianity-infected nation, the most ignorant, anti-science, ignorant nation on the planet. And mentally healthy, in other words, atheists, scientists, and intellectuals are clueless, blind, and don't see that ChristPsychosis, believing God and all this crap in this 21st century, is a mental illness, an HIV of the brain. It will make us extinct if this is not addressed. But here is another example of ChristPsychosis-induced pedophilia.
Years of imprisonment, at least 5 years of supervised release.
When you ran down the list of...
And you know, the reason is actually because, according to this Christianity-infected imbecile, a child is somebody under 18. So if you mess around with somebody under 18, according to Christianity-infected United States of America, the dumbest, the stupidest nation on the planet, it's a sin, it's bad and all that. So he is a pedophile. Under 18. And he messed around with a 14-year-old girl. Well, in ancient times, in nature and everything, if you are breeding, if you can breed, females that can breed, your pheromones come around and you're okay. In ancient times, you have 14-year-old, 15-year-old brides, and because they can reproduce. But the problem in the United States, there's no sex education. These imbeciles in churches, they rape the brain of children with the Jesus bullshit, the mythologies of the Bible, the biggest pedophile crap, immoral, deviant crap. Read the Bible. You see all the crap and there are many Bibles. Read it. And you see all this imbecile. That's why the United States get their morality. There's a Christianity-infected imbecile get their morality. That's what they teach in churches, in mega churches. And the benefit of the pedophile, disgusting, psychotic priests, pastors, ministers of zombie Jesus, extremely wealthy, that molest children. But when I'm talking about children, I'm talking about under 10 years old. Those are children, 10-year-old, not 14, 15, or 16, you imbeciles. And this is the problem in this country. We have this lunatic psychopath in control of the government. They're judges, they're ministers, they're senators, they're congressmen, they're imbeciles. And they go to church and they get their brains screwed up. There's no sex education. There's all this zombie Jesus bullshit. They make the children stupid and vulnerable to be molested. In other words, to be really raped and all that from Christianity-infected adults. That's the problem. And this is not seen in this country. So Christianity is a mental illness, disgusting mental illness. It's a psychopathy. It's an HIV of the brain. Religion is organized as schizophrenia, and Christianity is the worst of all of them. It's something that belongs in the past, the mental illness, because we create the mind and everything with the brain. And this is the thing. They should teach children neurology since they are little kids. Learn how to use your body. Learn how to use the brain. There is no God and crap and angels and sin and life after death and all that crap. It's only the product of psychotic, infected, moronic brains, uneducated. And this is the problem. So Christianity is a mental illness. Churches, they should be shut down. Churches are turned into museums. That's what should be happening. Hey, facts. Facts are facts. And reality, my friends. Facts talk, religious psychosis, bullshit books. Desire, the prime director of life, which is procreation. These hormones, the limbic system, everything is all together because your body wants to reproduce. But then the object of reproduction is children, thanks to the religious psychosis. This is what makes this man do what he did. Get involved in children, which is disgusting. If they take these imbeciles and they chop their dicks and they chop the organs off and hang them, you won't see pedophiles anymore. But then, United States is a Christianity-infected nation. You have to do that to all the priests and all these imbeciles that believe in resurrected zombies that serve with blood. But anyway, this is the beginning. And you can see all these people are brought up in Christian homes. Fogel is perhaps Jewish, a Jewish psychotic. But I doubt it. It's probably psychotic infected imbecile. But anyway, this is what happens. And we have to realize science, fact, talk, religious psychosis, imbecilities, mythologies of the 12th century walk. Religious is a mental illness. Religious beliefs, homophobia, imaginary phenophobia, irrational belief, acceptance, is a mental illness, a cancer of the brain. Christianity is the worst of it. Believe in a resurrected zombie that said with blood. Pace Dior.